This is Stable Secrets. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Reilly. Horses may not talk, but trust us, their riders sure do.
We're two friends in the hunter-jumper world, pulling back the curtain on the barn life we all live.
The highs, the lows, and the secrets in between.
Today we're going to talk about finding jobs in the equine industry and different avenues of finding them, people you can contact potentially, and also maybe just throw some different job ideas out there at ya.
Job number one. I feel like it's very obvious. Horse trainer. Got any tips and tricks for that one?
Considering I have never been a horse trainer, never wanted to be a horse trainer, I'd only been with one horse trainer. Nope, don't have any tips or tricks for that one about how to be one. Other than
How to get the job.
how to get the job.
How to find the job. That's what we're talking about.
I don't know how to find that job.
Okay. Allow me. So what
I've never looked into it.
Oh, it's easy. So what I did, as I was finishing up college, I talked to some people in different states, as I'm in Georgia, and I did not want to stay in Georgia because it's a mess here in Atlanta. So I wanted to leave. So I talked to people in both Florida and Texas. And I did not post like an ISO or anything online. I just found the cities in which I was willing to work in, and I searched hunter jumper barns in that area, and then I emailed people, and just landed to yes.
Why Houston? As someone from Houston, why did you want to work here?
Jordan lived there. Or lives there.
Oh.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, come. There's a lot of barns." So
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair enough. Shout out Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. So I interviewed with one person in Wellington, one in Ocala, and I think just the two in Houston. And that was basically like, they emailed back and we just texted, and then I found a weekend to go interview at these places. I can't remember. I want to say I did Houston first, and that was set up as a riding interview at one place. Actually, both were riding interviews, but they were very different experiences. And then went down to Wellington. I had never been before, and so me and my friend went on a road trip together, and we drove from Georgia to Wellington. It's like a 10 to 11 hour drive depending on traffic, and that was basically, we stayed in an Airbnb, and I had a set interview in Palm Beach Point, and I came and I spoke to the trainer and her, I think now husband, previously was just her boyfriend, and they told me kind of what they were looking for. They didn't talk numbers either, but they really talked about their business, what the kind of levels they do, what everything kind of looks like for them, because they're based in Washington and they season in Wellington and all that nonsense. So then on the way home, yeah. So on the way home, I stopped in Ocala because I had another interview there, and unfortunately the trainer got tied up at the horse show, and I got stuck talking to one of the managers who was not very nice, so I didn't bother following up with that one. And then I made my decision that way, had further conversations, talking money and whatever with all of them, and that was that. But I know a lot of people do Facebook groups. They post out like in search of ads. A lot of it, and a lot of the horse industry in general, is word of mouth. So
yeah,
like,
network is everything.
yeah, and as an introverted person, that's very hard for me sometimes to network and always be smiley and friendly, because that's just not me. I don't put myself out there all that often. But now, once you build up your network and say you don't really know anybody, then like an ISO will be good for you. But if you have a network of people, usually just via word of mouth, you can probably land a pretty good gig these days. Pay, I couldn't tell you. But for the most part, yeah, you can do that, I would say. Do you know of any other ways?
I've seen a few things on social media, actually. TikTok, Instagram, like you said, Facebook, the typical ISO ads. Or I've seen different accounts post different job opportunities. I guess this one isn't necessarily for just trainers, but I've seen some trainer positions posted as well. Like if it's a high-end barn looking for a specific type of trainer or just a lesson trainer. And so those are always a different avenue to look at, or at least do research on barns in your area and see if you could send out even a blind application to them. Like, hey, here's my credentials. Here's what I've done. Here's what I can offer you. And just, I mean, the worst they can say is no.
That's
so
what
you
I
can
did.
do that. And kind of, then you're at least also making connections along the way that you could, hey, could I come pick your brain and have a coffee with you? Could I bring you a coffee to the barn and just see how your program works so I can get ideas and stuff like that?
Yeah, and I know, I was telling Kelsey about this before we started. I see a lot of like recruiters of sorts now, where say it's like a 5-star like private barn that's looking for a groom or something like that. Then they'll hire these recruiters to go post those ads on Facebook and other places in their website, saying like very vaguely, just like 5-star private farm looking for a groom. Please send resume to here or call here. That kind of stuff. Like that's become a lot more popular. And I think that's well, I don't know if it's always just for like the private stuff, but I feel like that's a pretty normal avenue for that kind of thing too these days.
I feel like it probably is mostly for private, just because the expense that you have to put into that. Because I can't imagine that they're necessarily paying small fees to have a recruiter for the equestrian industry, just knowing how the industry is, you know? Like, most trainers don't want to shell that out unless they necessarily have to. Like, they'd rather keep that expense and put it back into a horse or into a show or into a truck or into whatever. But ever you're a 5-star barn looking for X amount of qualifications and help, they're happy to pay that price tag. But also, I have no clue.
But also, I would say for confidentiality purposes too.
Right.
Which is a big thing with the top show barns, and not even show barns, but like private barns and whatnot. All those top riders need a bit of confidentiality. But even like Heritage Farm posts on Facebook like, hey, we need an assistant trainer. Hey, we need a barn manager. Call us. And that's pretty normal for a lot of people these days.
Well, that's when your reputation will precede you as a barn as well. Like, if you have a bad rap with your close barns, trainers, clients around you for whatever reason, I mean, a rude trainer, a trainer that coddles their students too much, a trainer that's always causing rings to be late, whatever, like, your reputation will precede you, and people in the industry will know who they would like to work for dream job wise, or who they would never work for from things like that. Yeah,
and even I completely am forgetting the California barn that I worked for.
I forget you went to California.
I did, for all of 4 months. That was literally just like, I sent a Facebook message to the trainer because her and I were friends on Facebook, and I met her at a horse show. And I was like, hey, you're looking for this? And she was like, yeah, 100%, call me tomorrow. And so, like, they don't have to always post things, but again, the people with the huge reputations and the very large barns and stuff, they don't have to go seeking out people. People seek them out.
Yeah. So to move on from the trainer aspect of it, which I know we kind of mingled in some other job opportunities in there or ways to find them, but have you ever thought about being a barn manager?
Yes, but I like riding. So barn manager jobs don't always come with the ability to ride too. And I learned, like, the job in California, I was like the office person. I did all the administrative work behind the scenes. Like, I did the billing, the scheduling, you name it. I worked with the vets. I worked with everybody. And I didn't ride as much as I wanted to. And my mental health took a serious toll because of it.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, I would if I could ride too.
Right, which makes sense. I feel like you do see a fair mix of those ads on Facebook too, like a barn manager includes riding hours or bring your own horse and blah 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 in exchange for whatever. But also, I would say most of the ones I see don't include riding time. Like, they just want
Right.
you to come manage everything and take care of that. And if you ride, great. If you don't, even better.
Yeah, and
Which is kind of wild to me.
a lot of them will post like groom in search of, and they'll say like riding opportunities for the right person, and you
Right.
just kind of have to hope you're the right person, you know? Because like,
Yeah.
I think I ride decent, but somebody could really hate how I ride, and I would never touch another horse, like at least be on their back, and that would be very devastating for me. But yeah, so I would do it, but if I could ride for the right person too.
Right. It'd have to be just the perfect circumstance all the way around.
I mean, that's like, if I were to ever go pro again, same. It has to always be the right circumstance, because I've always quit pro jobs because of the people, not because of the animals. The people ruin literally everything. So
It's because people are the worst. Animals are the best. People,
agree.
especially in this industry, the good ones are few and far between.
yeah. So I know people are like, they always want to be quick about jumping into it and everything, but like, you need to be particular. And sometimes you'll learn lessons the hard way of what jobs to take, what jobs you should have taken, what jobs you should never step foot on that property. But you're never going to know unless you try.
Exactly. And the more experiences you can get, the better.
Yeah, exactly. No, like you said earlier, your network is everything. So the more people you can meet, the better off you are. And like, I talked about this on our episode with Megan. Like, I've always been told, go ride with whomever, train with whomever. Like, you can take away a positive and a negative from everything, and then you can turn it into your own, and then hopefully you start looking for those things in future jobs. So I think
Exactly.
it applies industry-wide, and really just in life. It applies.
True that. True that.
Here's another job we could talk about. Show management and working for horse shows. That is an interesting one. I know, like, WEF on their website will post, same with WEC actually, a careers tab. And
They have a whole bunch.
Right. They're at every one of those locations. They have a bunch of stuff you could do for them. So, like, that's something, like, I'm going the different route and getting licensed and, like, being hired to be a judge. But, like, in-gate stewards, also licensed. Okay, in-gate secretary, announcer,
Marketing.
jump crew. Yeah, jump crew. You name it. Like, and that's one of those things. I think for the majority of the horse shows, you probably just have to walk up to the office and, like, ask.
Yeah.
But also, like, they always need volunteers, too, so it doesn't even have to be a job. But that's a good one. Horse shows, it's tough to work, I would imagine. Especially in in-gate. It's probably the hardest job on the property.
And with you bringing up volunteering, the more you volunteer and get to know people, the better. I mean, no one really likes to donate their time for free at the end of the day whenever you'd like to be getting a paid position somewhere. But if you consistently know, like, hey, I really want to work at Great Southwest Equestrian Center in Katy. It is my goal. It is my dream. They're not hiring. Go volunteer there for shows, small shows, big shows, hunter jumper shows, Western shows, whatever they need. If you can get in, get your foot in the door, they're going to remember that when you go to apply for your dream job one day.
You go hand out ribbons at the end of a flat class.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick up poop in the warm-up ring. They all need people to do that.
Clean poles. Do something like set up cones at a show or something. I don't know.
Manage parking.
Right.
Anything.
Concessions.
Maybe help work. I was going to say, yeah, like the VIP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sponsors teams. A lot of them have those now too. Like, there's so many different ways. Or, I mean, if you're in the right position, I try to get our law firm to sponsor different things at the horse shows. Like, one of my boss's daughters also rides. She's young. She's still kind of figuring it out. And I'm forever trying to get him to sponsor Pin Oak. One of these days it's going to happen. So far it has not,
fun.
but I want a jump.
Well, a jump. I would say just do start with a division.
Well, yeah, we could start with a division, but I want to jump.
Okay, well, you got to start somewhere, Kelsey.
But I want to jump. I already have it designed. I've had it designed for, how long have I worked there? Almost 4 years. Have it designed. It's great.
So, like, for Georgia Hunter Jumper Association, we do an education festival, and it goes
Ooh.
towards a foundation that supports one of the horse parks near where I grew up. And they're always looking for people to sponsor a rider and, like, pay for a rider's entry to participate in the festival.
Right.
So I've done that before. It's like $250. You sponsor a rider, and what they do is, like, a bunch of people who would love to be sponsored will send in, like, a letter, like a little synopsis as to, like, why you should pick them. And so I got all of those sent to me, and I picked between, like, I call it like 5 to 8 people. And I was like,
Yeah.
here, I picked this girl. Like, I really liked what she had to say. And so that's who went
That's
to
so
the education
cool.
festival on my dime. Yeah. It was neat.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like, expensive, but it gave somebody an opportunity that wouldn't originally have it. So I'm all for those things.
Yeah, gosh, yeah, that's awesome. Another job that I think is more, you don't necessarily have to apply to this one, because I have a friend who's going to come on our podcast in a couple of weeks and kind of talk about how she's started her own business doing it, almost in a roundabout way. Grooming and setting up stalls at horse shows.
Okay, so everybody needs to get set up at a horse show. So why wouldn't you make money doing it, you know? Like, if you can.
Right.
And you don't have to charge a whole lot of money for it. Do, like, $10 a stall. And if you
Exactly.
do 10 stalls, there's $100. Probably took you 30 minutes.
Well, and
Maybe
I think they
45.
like
I don't
do
move that
group
fast.
pricing for it. Yeah, same. They do group pricing for it. They'll come clean your stalls. They'll come do all of that, kind of that a full-time groom would. But if you're in a smaller barn, or you're a trainer that has more clients than you typically did, or you're in the growth phase, you don't have a groom, like you're one of those barns that you do everything by yourself, which was kind of how I grew up. Like, that'd be so nice. Like, hey, I don't have time tonight. Could you please come clean my stall? I'll throw whatever money you ask for at you. They come do that. They'll get your horse out and hand graze them so that you don't have time. Maybe you have 3 other horses to show. You're on the other end of this, and you need someone to help you keep that horse comfortable. They don't like being locked in, or you just want them to stretch their legs. Like, there's so many opportunities. Or you're another small trainer and you need someone to come set the jump for you. Like, they will come set the jumps for you in the warm-up arena and
Really?
hold the horse. Yeah, it's like, right? Genius. You don't have
I've
anyone to
never
come with
thought
you,
of that.
and yeah, they don't have anyone to come with them, or they might have like one person that they're showing with and they're in the same division and they need someone to set jumps, and sometimes it's hard to catch someone to like help set jumps for you whenever that's the case. And so she'll come set jumps for people and hold their horse while they learn their course and get them water or whatever, like kind of be a show mom for random people.
I mean, and that's kind of interesting, though, because I feel like I know some people who are very particular about their jumps, like setting and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the majority would be all for it, but some people would be like, I don't know this person. Why would I? Like, maybe
Right.
something they do is unorthodox, like, so, like their horse is weird about something. Then they would probably be like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna pass. But I think the vast majority would benefit from that.
Yeah, and most of the time the people that are that particular have their own team to come do it, or at least have people in their barn that know their structure and what they like.
Mm-hmm.
But for the people that come down just as a trainer that's bringing 4 horses and they have no clients with them, like, what do? You hope that a trainer is there and can help you, or someone's setting fences and is able to do 2 jumps at one time, or you can jump in with somebody. But
Yeah, or you hope you have a friend also showing at that show or something. Because
right.
when we were just in Venice, we had like 7 horses, and we only had 1 groom. And, well, we only have 1 groom that comes to the shows. And they paid these 2 girls, like these teenagers, like 15 and 16-year-olds, who were also showing, but needed to make some cash. And they came in the morning, and they came in the evening, and they did all the stalls. Made like $100 a day. It was easy.
Yeah. Exactly.
pay for
Like,
their show,
say, yeah, that's what she does too. Like, her daughter shows ponies and is trying to get competitive into it, like more competitive towards pony finals, that kind of thing is what I mean. And so, like, she books clients for every week of the horse shows down here, and she's up there hand walking them in the morning, dropping all of their feed, cleaning stalls, cleaning tack, doing whatever these people need. And she has kind of like a menu of charges that she has set pricing for all this stuff and you don't agree to it, great, she's not going to work for you that day. But she is booked on the regular.
My question for those things is, like, how do you price yourself? Like, how do you kind of figure out what makes sense? Obviously, you can be like, okay, here's a hand walk. A hand walk's going to be 10 minutes, so I'm going to do $10 for 10 minutes. Like,
right.
Does she keep it simple like that? Or, like, do you know how she priced it out, or what?
I've seen it before, but that'll be a great question to ask her when she's on in a couple weeks, because I'm not super positive on how she broke it down and to really necessarily what categories she offers at this point, because I know it's grown from what it started as.
Yeah. Because I see people pretty regularly on Facebook, I would say, in those groups posting, like, hey, I'll come set up your stalls, and hey, I'll come clean your stalls. And I think
right.
$10-15 a stall is pretty standard, but, like, someone's just kind of got to start and say, this is what I'm going to charge, and then I guess the rest will conform to that if they think that's fair, whatever.
Yeah. She kind of had a waiting list for a while, too, so.
Really?
Yeah, like, so many people at shows, she had networked so well and, like, did such a good job for people that they would be like, hey, are you working at this show? And she'd be like, yep. And she'd have 2 to 3 clients at a show from different barns. So she's like, I can't take any more people.
That's awesome. Good for her.
Yeah.
What a cool business.
I know, what a cool business. And she just does it when she wants. It's not like she does it year round or travels with it or anything. It's just like she lives close to the equestrian center in Katy. So she can make it work for the show series at those. And when her kid shows, she doesn't typically book any clients. Yeah. And all of that. So it's a really cool system she's built.
Okay, other jobs.
Traders.
Oh,
photographers.
Photographers, I feel like it's just really your own business.
Well, and you have to be so careful. Yeah, at the shows now you have to be careful. You can't take your own things. They have all the policies against it unless it's like family members, whatever. But getting in with the horse show photographers is also hard. So hard, but not. I don't really know the barrier to entry to those. I think you just have to own a nice camera and be able to point and click and travel.
I wish it was that easy. It's not that easy.
No, I would assume it's not.
But yeah. Okay, go to braiders. That was a much better answer for the next job than photographers.
Braiders. You got to be good at braiding. You got to want to be up all night.
That's all you had to say?
That's all I got.
Okay. Well,
You're the hunter writer here. You needed the braids.
One of my very dear friends is a braider. And she works for one of her best friends. It's like these 2 sisters own the company, and they all have braiders within. And I know of, including the 2 that own it, I know of 4 of them. I think there are a few others, but like my good friend, like, she can't hang tails and doesn't braid tails. She doesn't know how, and she has not learned yet. So like, if there are a bunch of people that just need manes, they'll send her. But if it's like a main tail kind of situation for the entire barn, then they'll either send her for the manes and someone behind her for the tails that's also working at the show, or they'll just put her at a different horse show. And she also shows in the hunters, so she has to be strategic about, like, say she set a series for 3 weeks, or yeah, we'll call it 3 weeks. She'll braid like during the week when she's not showing, and then on the weekend she will not braid, and the braiding money will have helped pay for her show bill. So she's really strategic about it that way, specifically at the horse shows that she's already going to be at to compete. But I've stayed up a couple nights with her until like midnight, just hanging out, like shooting the shit while she's braiding and hanging out. And it's fun to watch. I can't do it, but that's a skill set for sure. Like, I wish I had it. But
it is.
I can't hang tails, and so sometimes, like, when she would braid for the barn and then she would need help hanging tails, instead of people getting charged for it, her and I would just tag team it and do it. Yeah. Because it's easy. I do it with rubber bands, but I know there's a way to do it with yarn. I have not learned that way. It's much more stable. But I've only had, knock on wood, 1 tail fall out on me ever, and the horse barely had a tail to begin with. So.
Damn. So you had a little to work with.
Right. But I remember I have some old pictures of tails that I've hung, and they look beautiful. But I just need the second set of eyes, and like I could use more of like a clip, but an extra set of hands to hold like the excess tail up.
Yeah.
Yeah, braiding's a tough job. I don't envy braiders, and
I don't either.
there's a braider that I follow on TikTok named Jen Braids, and she does live streaming in the middle of the night of when she's braiding for horse shows.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I needed to look up that girl's name again because I already forgot.
Yeah, and so if like you can send money and stuff through TikTok live streams, and if she hits like a certain number of whatever, then she'll have her moderators pause comments, and then she'll tell a story to reward them for getting her to a certain point. Kinda
Genius. Cool, huh? Back to earlier when I was saying to like search social media platforms for different jobs. There is a girl on TikTok specifically. I don't know if she's on other platforms, but her name is Lauren Ann L. And she posts mainly jobs in the equestrian world. A lot of them are Western leaning, but she does also post hunter jumper English jobs. Like one of her recent ones is a part-time staff writer and reporter for the Chronicle of the Horse. So just try to use all of your resources and you can find something that's up your alley, hopefully.
The one place I would say don't check is LinkedIn. I don't think they're posting jobs on LinkedIn.
Although, now that you say that, so I work in marketing at the law firm, and so I peruse LinkedIn far too often. Yeah. And there's more and more horse things getting to be on there. And I actually connected with one guy, I want to say his name is Brian, and he connected with me on there and then with me on Facebook, and he is running different strategies basically and how to help trainers grow their business and actually make profitable lesson and training programs. He has like a whole model system of how to price things, how to advertise and all of that stuff. So he does promote on LinkedIn. And I've also seen there's a new horse show software company, I want to say. It's called Pegasus. It's growing. It's overtaking one of the ones that they used to use all over the place. And so they post a lot on there too, just trying to get traction kind of from even investors and different accounting places, like just getting more awareness for their brand. Because so many of their clients really are on there. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of big time owners do have normal jobs. And so they're going to see different posts about that. And so are some of the people on the boards for the horse shows. They're going to see different platforms being used and talked about and different ways that you can implement them into the horse show world that also integrate with businesses, not just in the equestrian world. And so there's gotten to be more and more on there. And it's been really interesting to see the evolution of all of it on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's cool. See, I just know horse people aren't tech savvy. So my brain goes like, why would they use LinkedIn? LinkedIn isn't hard to use. I mean, they're going to tell their entire life story on Facebook, but I just don't think they think to use LinkedIn, really.
Well, there's so many professionals, too, that I've seen more and more people. They are, our age. They're in their 30s, 40s, maybe sometimes older, whatever, and they're working their corporate job to afford to compete, as we all do at this point. And so they post about their professional success on LinkedIn, but they're also posting about their equestrian success and like, hey, this job allows me to pay for this sport that I love, and it's a balance on all fronts. And it's been kind of cool to see that as well, like people kind of turning it into a type of Facebook, but more professionally, and it still brings awareness to our industry.
Well, that's interesting. I never would have thought.
But definitely wouldn't look like for a solid job on there, although WEC does post listings on there.
Yeah, WEC also has like one of those career tabs on their website too.
Yeah, it links to that page, but they have that and different things like that. Conferences, some conferences, different business mindset thing. If you have any other jobs that are in the equestrian industry that we missed and you think we should look more into, or you want to come on and tell us more about, let us know. If you have any other platforms or methods of applying to different jobs, we'd also be interested in hearing that.
That's it for this episode of Stable Secrets.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.